sitting under the oak tree as tall as the Empire State Building. I might have been 10 years old, but it's hard to remember now, 3 years later. My memory is so fogged, I can't even remember what the story was about. I have lost so many notebooks over the years, including the one that the story was written in. I think it had a kitten on it, like most of the school supplies my mom purchased. My handwriting was probably scrawled across the page, erratic. That's how I was back then, jumping around, running, and playing. But all that's beside the point. The point is the oak tree. For the past 3 years, I've been going to that oak tree almost every day. I discovered her by happenstance once while my family and I were taking a walk after dinner. At that first walk, maybe a few months before I started dropping by, I hated the oak tree. She was in a little clearing where the sun poked at her body, but even that didn't enhance her figure. I had to squint to look at her, and that didn't help either. She was too tall and too wide, too shady and too cool, and far, far, far too ugly and too plain. She needed some care or a good pruning, if only someone cared enough. Some kind soul did care enough. One day in March, when the weather began to turn lamb-like, we drove past the oak tree. Most of the dead limbs that had blackened with age and disease were gone, lying in a tied bundle beside the curb. Now the oak tree looked polished. I knew she had been there for years, but now she had a certain charm. Before she was just scraggly. Now she was almost antique. A vintage tree. What a strange, novel idea.